All right, we are live immediately after the Bills-Chiefs game. If you are watching this after the fact, I will try to go ahead and get through the Commanders and Eagles game, and then we will discuss the Bills-Chiefs game very in depth. So, with all due respect to everybody watching this after the stream, if you're watching this tomorrow, 2 days after, whatever, we're just going to dive right in. So, Commanders-Eagles, the Eagles obviously took care of business, and I have a lot of notes written down for each game. So within the Commanders game, it was a really good start for the Commanders. They had an 18-play drive at the start. They had a field goal. Philly basically laughed in their face at the thought of an 18-play drive. They went one play. They had a really good kick return. Saquon immediately 60-yard touchdown. Philly made it 14-3 after a Dyami Brown fumble. They capitalized on a Washington mistake, and that was, to me, kind of the theme of the day for the Commanders. Eventually, it was 20-12 before a kickoff return, another fumble, made it 27-12 before half. Washington responded with a 5-play drive to make it 27-15 before half. Now, Washington had several opportunities in this game and even started the second half with an Eagles 3-and-out. Before Washington went 3-and-out, and Philly responded with a touchdown to make it 34-15. Washington then made it 34-23 with a Jaden Daniels touchdown, and like we said earlier, had an opportunity to cut the lead, unfortunately couldn't capitalize. Now, one thing I do want to be clear after saying that they did not capitalize, you lose a game 55-23, that is not on your offense for not capitalizing on an opportunity here or there. The turnover battle was 4-0. Philly had over 450 yards of offense. That was kind of the theme of the day for Washington. It seemed like it was too little too late. But I will say positively, they responded well off of each of the first two fumbles. And the reality is this was the best season in 30 plus years for them. And when you give up, like we said, over 450 yards, you lose the turnover battle, not 2-1, not 3-2, 4-0 rookie quarterback NFC Championship game on the road, you are going to lose that game, not 99% of the time, I would say 99.9% of the time. It was against a better team. On top of it, I from a sheer roster top to bottom, I thought Philly was a better team than Washington. So it was always going to be a tough game for Washington to win on the road. Now for Philly, Jalen Hurts had 256 total yards, 4 total touchdowns. There were a lot of people that... Well, there's still a lot of people that love to criticize Jalen Hurts about, he's a game manager and everything, and they look at the class of 2020 with Herbert and Burrow and basically say that if either of those two are and Tua for that matter, were in Jalen's situation, that they would have the same success as him, and Eagles fans have to defend their guy a lot. But Jalen Hurts, 4 total touchdowns. He played a good game. He played the best game, I would say, of the 3 so far to get the Birds to the Super Bowl. Saquon, 118 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Will Shipley, the sneaky fast running back, even got into the mix at a big 57-yard run at the end. A.J. Brown and Lattimore were certainly jawing in this one. Very, very fun to watch. And Saquon and Cooper DeJean's birthday is on the day of the Super Bowl. We'll see how that plays out. Now, for anybody that is watching this, I will say I am glad that both Saquon and Cooper are already in the pros. I wouldn't want them to, miss the Super Bowl for their birthday party and not have their teammates show up. So I'm glad that they're already pros, and if you understand that reference, more power to you. But 2-2 to the Super Bowl. Never panic when the roster is as good as it is, and especially after that Bucs loss, there were a lot of people that were down and out. But they had Lane Johnson out, they had Devontae out, they had AJ out that game. They're now going to the Super Bowl. And complete game from the Eagles offense. And when they play the type of game they played in Championship Sunday, they're a near unbeatable team. We'll see how that plays out in a couple weeks. Devontae says, I want redemption. It's time to bring it home, Eagles fans. We'll see how that plays out. Appreciate the super chat, Devontae. My ex-wife, appreciate the super chat. Also says, I knew the game was over after the Bills didn't get the first down. It's the same thing over and over again, and it gets more infuriating every time. All right, we'll get to this. Let's go ahead and go to the Bills game. I took notes as this game is going on. Both games, for that matter. Maddie says, off topic, but as a Packers fan, Arctic Circle, where do you rank them overall next year? Love your content. Hope you have a great Super Bowl party. So, let's just go ahead and address this now. I plan to be live after the Super Bowl as well. So, mark your calendars. Hopefully, not hopefully, but I plan to be live after. Packers, I would say right now, anywhere from 6 to 10 next year. But Bills Chiefs, I want to pull up everything, make sure, because I like to pull up the drive sequences to make sure I'm not forgetting anything within this. Now, the Bills obviously had a big blow right from the start with Christian Benford being out. That was huge. That cannot be understated. The Bills also at a point in this game, and this was one I didn't understand, and then they got back to it in the second half, which I was really glad to see. That the one drive they had, it was like 11 runs to one pass, and they scored. I was ecstatic for Buffalo and the way that drive was called. That was of course in the second half. Now, a couple notes that I have here. I'm trying to pull the exact drive sequences up, but Josh started the game out really rough. The first two plays, I took a deep breath and was like, oh boy, this could be a bad day. It could be. Now, Josh turned it around like he always does. Eventually settled in, and the Mac Hollins touchdown over Trent McDuffie, that was chef's kiss. That was a beautiful ball. Now, we're going over a lot of the Bills stuff right here, and then we'll get to the Chiefs in a minute. There was one play in the third quarter. It was the start of the third quarter. If you guys recall this specific play, Matt Milano had an incredible open field tackle on Patrick Mahomes. We have seen Patrick Mahomes make not just Matt Milano, but countless guys miss in the open field, where you just look at him, know that he runs something along the lines of a 4.7 or 4.8 40, and basically question how did he make him miss. But Milano, that was one of the best open field tackles on Mahomes that we've seen, especially considering the circumstances. I mean, 3rd and 11 AFC Championship game, pushed them out of field goal range. I did want to specifically highlight that. Now, let's keep it rolling here. Turnover on downs. I'm curious on this one, by the way. The turnover on downs at the start of the fourth quarter. How do you guys feel about that? I am simply asking a question to any Bills fans in here. How did you guys feel about that call? I'll just kind of question that. I'll just kind of leave it at that. And Mal says it was cow manure. That's what. I think the catch was worse. That catch was another call. Horrible spot. I thought it was a bad spot personally. I thought it was a bad spot, and I think this is just the epitome of playing the Chiefs is. Let me pull up the exact. Hold on here. Okay, I'm not sure why this is not going in order. Okay, there we go. We have it pulled up now. I have it pulled up now. So let me just hold on here. After the I'm pretty sure the Chiefs went down for a touchdown after that, because it was just typical. It was just typical. You make a mistake, the Chiefs capitalize. I don't think I've ever seen a team capitalize. I don't think I've ever seen a team capitalize on mistakes the way the Chiefs do. I really don't. Somebody said I can't stick around, but I love this channel. I'm playing the hit game Madden 08. Peace and love. Have a great day. Appreciate it. Madden 08's a great game. Back when they had Madden Superstar. Bring that back. EA, bring that back. But it was. I couldn't believe the specific spotting on that ball. So I'm getting to the. I don't know why CBS Sports is not pulling it up on the app on the browser. That's pretty frustrating. But it was the drive at the end of the start of the fourth quarter was frustrating to me. Now again, we're still going over the Bills here. I wrote down at one point that watching Josh Allen is incredibly stressful, and I write this down every game, every big game, where it's you never know what Josh is going to do, whether he's going to mash the buttons, and he had the ball reached over at the 50-yard line at one point, and then he brought it back, and it was, I thought he was going to fumble it, because I thought that somebody was just going to come right through and just knock the ball out. Thankfully they didn't for the Bills' sake, but it was I mean, I thought the Bills were going to win this game. You would have asked me 10, 12 minutes to play. I really thought they were going to win this game. Now, 3rd and goal. This was on a drive where Curtis Samuel eventually scored to make it 29-22 at the time, or 29-28 rather. And then Tyler Bass kicked the extra point. 3rd and goal, I was glad to see, because I wanted this game to go down to the wire the way it did. I was really glad to see the Bills score the next play. After the 3rd and goal fade to Keon Coleman, I thought that was a wildly just terrible play call in that specific situation. I mean, you have Josh Allen, who is one of the most unique players in NFL history, just in terms of how he can impact a game, both through the air and on the ground. And I thought that was a very poor play call in that specific moment. And then Josh threw a dime on the next play to Curtis Samuel. So that was a big play there. Now, The Chiefs responded as they always do. Xavier Worthy had a big play on a mesh concept to get him at 1st and goal. Jordan Phillips, late in the game, tremendous play. I mean, he just textbook walked Caliendo, the left guard, back. That was a big boy play. I mean, that was big man. That was big boy play. And then Buffalo eventually got the ball back with 3 to play. I was not a fan on the first down run where they gave the ball to Ty Johnson. James Cook comes in the next play. James Cook was having a great game. Unless there's something I'm not aware of right now at this point in time, 7 minutes after the game with the Chiefs still on the podium getting the Lamar Hunt trophy. Unless there's something I'm not aware of, I was not a fan of that play call. I didn't like that decision. Josh ran for a first down. Then there were 2 incompletions. One was over the middle. It was the play where Jim Nantz kind of suggested that he threw the ball away, and it kind of looks like an RPO. So I wouldn't argue that he kind of did throw the ball away, but it was the next play was batted down. The screen to Amari came on 3rd down, which I didn't think was a bad play because you were going to go for it no matter what. And if that was, I didn't think that was that bad of a play, especially with the way the personnel was towards the line of scrimmage. So 4th and 5. Incredible blitz call by Spags. Josh did everything he could to will his team to win, and unfortunately came out on the bad end. Came out on the wrong end, and it was what's not going to be talked about. At least I haven't seen it too much. Was we can call this what it is. I mean, I do think Dalton Kincaid should have caught that ball. I really do. The 4th and 5. I mean, I know it was going to be a tough play, but I mean, at the end of the day, Dalton Kincaid he was a 1st-round pick. That's a ball that should have been then caught. Now, I also don't want the takeaway to be, well, the Bills lost this game because of Dalton Kincaid. That's certainly not why they lost the game. But that was definitely a play that I thought should have. I thought Dalton Kincaid should have caught that ball. But just all around frustrating for the Bills. Now we'll get to the Chiefs here in a second. Andrew says, I'm not even a Bills fan, but Allen played his butt off this game. The last throw is insane and has to get caught by Kincaid. Hope he's okay. I also hope he's okay. And I agree with what you're saying, Andrew. But Peel says, I never want to hear they beat them in the regular season ever again. This is just unfortunate for the Bills fans because it was you beat them again in the regular season and then you lose 32-29 season on the line. Daniel, appreciate it. As always, frustrating that so many people think this is staged. I would agree with that. Both teams were favorites to win the game, and they did. Doesn't mean it's staged. Go Birds. It's definitely not staged. If you think it is, I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't think it's staged by any means. I was frustrated with the one specific turnover on downs. I was frustrated with that, but it was the Bills had other opportunities to win, and that's kind of the story, is the Bills had other opportunities to win the game. But Josh, I thought, played good. Now, for the Chiefs, I honestly didn't think I thought they called an okay game. I didn't think that they were overwhelming. It's just this game just felt very, very just Chiefs win. It's to me, if I would describe the 2024 Chiefs, I would describe them as in boxing terms. Not that I'm a big boxing guy by any stretch of the imagination. I would basically describe them as a big defensive fighter, and this will make sense more here in a second, I promise. I would describe them as a defensive fighter where as soon as you throw a jab and as soon as you just whiff on a jab, they are right there every time. Just right there for the punch to the chin every time. They do not miss when it comes to having the opportunity to strike. And that is why I think that's why I think it's so frustrating for a team like Buffalo to lose this game where they had every opportunity. All right, let's see here. Hot take, but there hasn't been a great NFL season since 21. I would disagree. Let's see here. I really wanted the Bills to win. Donated to Kincaid organization. What does the Dream Bills offseason look like? No one expected them to even be here. It was supposed to be an offseason. It was supposed to be an off season compared to what they had. What do they do now? Appreciate the super as always, Sleepy. It's pretty much gonna be just improve the roster. That's what it's going to boil down to. Just continue to improve the roster. I don't have anything else other than that. 12 minutes, 15 minutes after the game ended. But it's going to be just to continue and just to bring in as much talent as they possibly can. I mean, whenever teams go BPA in the draft, BPA best player available, it's as simple as it sounds to get better as a football team. That's really all I can say. That is really all I can say. All right. Let's keep it rolling here. Chiefs are the definition of counterfighters. That is exactly that. That's the thing where people say when people say that the Chiefs are not a good team, they are a great. I mean, you don't win 15 games. You don't go to the Super Bowl for a potential three-peat without being a great team. They are just the ultimate just counter. I've never seen a team counter the way the Chiefs do, and all the credit goes to Kansas City for doing that. I mean, they do it at such a high level. Now, to go into the Chiefs notes and everything, they force Buffalo into a 3-and-out. They go down and get a touchdown right away. And then they get down 10-7, and there was they had the ball in Buffalo territory. There was a real chance that it was going to be 14-3 at a point. They fumble. Buffalo capitalizes off Kansas City's mistake. Buffalo goes down and makes it a touchdown. 10-7 Buffalo. What does Kansas City do? Of course, they make it 14-10. Snap of a finger. Buffalo goes 3-and-out. Kansas City gets another touchdown to make it 21-10. The ultimate counter, man. That is what I would call the Kansas City Chiefs. Then Buffalo goes down right before half. Great drive, by the way. They make it 21-16. And there was a flag, and then Buffalo tried it from the 1, and they missed the 2-point to make it 21-18. Go to the second half. Buffalo forces Kansas City to punt the ball, and then they make it 22-21. Miss the 2-point conversion again. Then we have a couple. I mean, KC goes 3-and-out, and then Buffalo has the turnover on downs. And then Kansas City, again, they capitalize, they score, make it 29-22. And of course, Buffalo goes 0 for 2 in 2-point conversions. KC goes 1 for 1. Just neither team played a bad game. Not even close. I mean, both teams played good. Both teams. If there's ever, and I know people hate this, and I completely understand why they hate this, but if there's ever a game where both teams deserve to go, it was this one. I mean, both teams. This was a good game, man. This was a really good game. Let's see here. Brock, appreciate it. 7 rushing touchdowns, insane by the Birds. Do the Chiefs contain 26? Love Jalen Hurts putting up his best game when he is hurt and criticized harshly. Also agree on the especially the second part. I am not going to doubt Steve Spagnuolo. I'm not. I know Buffalo definitely had their way at times tonight with the run game, especially that one drive in particular where they had 11 out of 12 runs. But I'm not going to bet against the Chiefs. But if Saquon, the thing with Saquon is Saquon is such a, he'll get 2 yards, he'll get 3 yards, he'll get 4 yards, and then he'll get 60. Saquon's, they call this breakaway yardage. His breakaway yardage, which is like 50 yards of runs of 15 or more, is really high, and it's always been high because he's always been kind of a single or grand slam runner, which is good or bad. Now you put Saquon on a great team like the Birds this year with the offensive line and with other offensive playmakers like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to take the pressure away from Saquon, you can obviously see the dividends. I wouldn't be surprised if Saquon, I would actually be more surprised if he doesn't have a run of 30 or more yards in the Super Bowl. But I think more often than not the Chiefs will play really gap-sound football and do what they just typical Chiefs defensive fashion to contain Saquon. Jeff, appreciate the super chat. It says message retracted. I don't know what the message was, but I do appreciate the super chat. Let's see here. Maddie Scene, am I a Pokemon fan? Gens 1 and 2 only. Gens 1 and 2 only. That's the only Pokemon I was really into. Machamp, best Pokemon ever. More of an Alakazam guy. Especially back in the early games, you could teach him all the different punches. So you would have Ice Punch, Fire Punch, and Thunder Punch, and then Psychic. It was you were literally unbeatable because he was such a good special attacker. But I do respect the Machop family. Anyway, let's keep it going here. All right, what was Jeff's super chat? There it is. The Bengals are the only team that can beat the Chiefs even in the playoffs. I appreciate the super chat. I mean, here I don't like getting into the discussion of a couple years ago, but there was so much that had to happen just once. That was the one day where the Chiefs didn't counter the way that they've done they've won 17 straight games now, one possession. For the Bengals to beat the Chiefs in the postseason, it required one of the worst halves we've seen of Patrick Mahomes' career. It required it going to overtime. It required a lot. It required the defense forcing multiple turnovers. Credit Lou Anarumo and the defense for where it's due. And then they didn't win the Super Bowl. I mean, they credit where it's due, though. Credit where it's due. But I get what you're saying, but credit where it's due. No, it was there was a lot that had to happen in that. And then Dimes Production says they haven't made the playoffs in 2 years. That's also true. All right. Perna is crying that P. Ryan clinched the game. I wonder what he's up to right now. I might text him and see how he's feeling. Andrew, appreciate the next level analyst. Appreciate it. All right. Mahomes is the second best quarterback as of right now. Curious as to hear who you would say the best is right now. But people stay crying because the Chiefs better than any team, says Eric. People, by the way. Is Allen the Manning to Mahomes Brady? I really thought, especially in the second half, I thought there was a chance that Buffalo was going to do it tonight. I really thought there was. And they missed a couple opportunities. The one, I mean, I will go back to the one turnover on downs play that I thought was a questionable call. I will go back to that. But I mean, even after that, the Bills still had multiple chances. So, all right, let's see here. New Bills fan, currently devastated. Oh, brother, it's so hard to, I mean, that's a tough one. I really thought we could get it done this year. Let's go Buffalo. I did too. I have an apology to Bills Mafia. I was significantly more pro Ravens loss last week than Bills win. Now I'm more, like I said, pro Bills loss. The credit goes to the Chiefs for being a great team consistently. I mean, you don't get to this level accidentally. And I know people love doing everything they can to discredit the Chiefs, but you don't get to this level by accident. You don't get to be on a three-peat potential level by accident. I thought Buffalo had a chance as well. Big chance. I said at one point during the game that I thought tonight, out of any of the four losses they had, I would put 2021 right up there. Like, it would be like 24, 21, 23. 23 would kind of be like right below 21. 2020 was kind of like, all right, like, we're the new kids on the block. Like, we're going to, we're here. I didn't expect much in 2020. No offense, Bills fans. It was a 14-2 team. I didn't expect much in 2020, but it would go 23, 21, 23, 21, and then I thought 24 this year. I thought this was the best chance, especially with how the game was playing. All right, let's see here. I don't like them. AJ, appreciate the first super chat on the stream. Appreciate it, AJ. I don't like them relying on Jalen Hurts to pass, especially on third down. Okay, hold on. Your Saquon isn't going in Jalen's first read. Okay, appreciate the super chat, AJ. I think Jalen is a solid quarterback, and we're more so focusing on the Bills Chiefs because the Eagles, they throttled them. They throttled the Commanders. Now, I thought, Washington going to the NFC Championship game was a huge accomplishment in itself, but I get what you're saying, AJ. I personally think Jalen's fine. I can't wait to see how he plays in his second Super Bowl. Can't wait to see it. Jake, appreciate the super chat. In a way, it was amazing the Bills still had a shot at the end. It felt like the Chiefs thoroughly outplayed them for a couple of quarters. The first couple drives was kind of tough. It was kind of like, oh boy, is it going to be one of those games? Especially when it was 3-and-out touchdown. That was when I was like, oh man, this could be bad. But the Bills did come back. I mean, and I know I said I thought this was the best year for the Bills to do it. It was after they came back, after they settled in. Now I was talking to a Bills fan throughout the game. One of my guys, Kenny, if he's watching, shout out Kenny. He even said after the game, he kind of jokingly was like, this sucks, but also we're not a first quarter team, and credit to him. I mean, he didn't panic. They were down 7-0. It looked as bad as it could possibly get at that point. They settled in eventually. Love from London. Appreciate it, Marvel. That is incredibly humbling. Love from London. That is incredibly humbling. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. Let's keep it going. I know there's a couple more supers here. Andrew, hey man, fave YouTuber. Appreciate it. As a Ravens fan, this sucks. We could have killed the Chiefs tonight. Who do you have winning? I'm going to go back with old reliable. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. I mean, you guys saw it tonight. I'm not betting against the Chiefs in the postseason. I'm not. I think the Eagles roster is phenomenal. I think it is one of the best rosters that we've seen constructed. Just top to bottom. Find me a weakness on that team. I know people are going to say, oh, well, Darius Slay at 34 years old, or whatever, however old he is. I get it. But look at every other position. They are a dominant team, man. I'm still not going to bet. I'm still not going to bet against the Chiefs. The background, I see you, Texans fan. I see you. Look, I have a little personal news. I'm going to the Senior Bowl tomorrow. I'm leaving for Mobile tomorrow. I'm ecstatic about that. I will be live. By the way, if you are enjoying this, please please subscribe. We were like 20 subscribers away from 179,000 when I started the stream. I would very much appreciate getting over 179. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. But we will be live Thursday night. So if you enjoyed this, please be here Thursday. We'll be live Thursday. All right. Chiefs are very much the best coach team in the league. Squirtle's the GOAT Pokemon. All right. Super Bowl 55 is a loss that the Chiefs need. I fully believe that game changed the Chiefs' mindset, and it's the reason they got to where they are now. I agree completely because that was a game where Patrick Mahomes, and it really hasn't happened since, at least nowhere close to that level, where he got his rear end kicked, thoroughly kicked, and the interior pass rush was in his face all game. And that draft was when they drafted Creed Humphrey and when they drafted Trey Smith. And then I'm not sure which offseason it was, whether it was that offseason or the following, but they also brought in Joe Thuney. They wanted Brett Veach, the Chiefs general manager, wanted a wall around Patrick Mahomes. And I know Caliendo was at left guard tonight, and you saw Jordan Phillips walk him back on that first and goal play, but that was why. You don't want pressure in your quarterback's face like that. But I would agree that was the best thing for the Chiefs in the long run. All right. I hope the Chiefs lose in the Super Bowl, says Josh. All right. Do you think the tush push should be illegal? I do not. Personally. Felty, appreciate the super chat. Love your content. The 50-50 calls go the way the Chiefs 9 out of 10 times. Bills were not perfect, but that's just unfair. Appreciate the super chat. I didn't think there were, I mean, like, the only one that I would really say tonight, and I'm not like I want this clear, I'm not man, every call goes in the Chiefs' way. There are people that perpetually, I would say this word to my boys in real life, I'm not going to say it on stream, I would say there are people that perpetually female dog on Twitter, complain is another word, that perpetually complain on Twitter about the Chiefs. I'm not one of those people that perpetually complain about calls. But the fourth down was the only one where I would say that was actually, like, the catch was also whatever they ruled on the field. I honestly thought when I first saw it, I thought I saw Xavier Worthy come down with the play, and then after there was like what I thought was like 2 or 3 roll arounds, the Bills player come out on top. That was my initial interpretation. But that was appreciate this super chat, Felty. I really do. Hello from, where is this? Australia. Appreciate it, Jack. That is incredibly humbling. All right. I'm already subscribed, but I subscribed twice to get you to 179. Appreciate it. All right. Let's see here. All right. Chiefs. There's so many comments right now about Chiefs 50-50 everything. All right. Let's see here. I want to be a GM. Me too. I do too. All right. Brock, appreciate it. Let's see here. How do you think the Eagles' defense matches up versus the Chiefs' offense? Slay may be 34, but he is balling out before we consider he is 34. Slay is, well, let me see here. Let's just go. We'll go to the Eagles' defense first. So I don't think Slay matches up well against the Chiefs' offense personally. That's going to be something where Vic has to. I mean, obviously Vic's going to be well aware. That's not going to be something that Vic Fangio realizes midway through the game. But if you get Marquise Brown or Xavier Worthy on Darius Slay, he better be checking them. Line of scrimmage, he has to hit them, because if he goes one-on-one on a drag route against Xavier Worthy, that's not going to end well. That is absolutely not going to end well for the Eagles. Now, the rest of the defense, in terms of how they match up, I think they match up pretty well. I mean, the Eagles' defense has pass rush on pass rush. They are a really good unit, whether it's Nolan Smith, whether it's Josh Sweat. Jalix Hunt, I think, is going to be a player that will develop over the next couple of years. Don't know how much that's going to help out in a couple of weeks, but I think they match up well. And, of course, the big boys in the interior, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, I think they match up well. I really do. But now I think what may hurt the Eagles is there's not really anybody on the Chiefs offense where you look at and it's just like, you know what, we're going to this guy right now. This guy is absolutely going to kill us, and we can't stop him. And even within that, I mean, Travis Kelce tonight, by the way, future Hall of Famer, 2 catches, 19 yards. They put up 32 points. That's kind of what I mean by that. They put up 32 points with I don't really care how you feel about everything. I know there's a lot of vocal people about Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. I don't care about that. That is, my official stance is no comment on that. It does not affect the way that I watch the game at all. But my point is, everyone would agree he's a first ballot Hall of Fame player. He puts up 2 catches for 19 yards. They still win the AFC Championship game. They're, 4th in 5 years? That's what it is, right? No, 5th and 6th? What is it? I don't even know where we are at this point. Hold on. They won in, let's do the math out loud here. 19, 20, 22, 23, 24. They're 5th in 6 years. He puts up 19 yards. They win. All right. I mean, they are insane, man. All right, AJ, appreciate it. Seattle fan, RIP 10 years of run the ball. Also, shout out Buffalo GM that traded pick 28 for 32 that became Xavier Worthy. I did think about that today. Or I thought about that tonight whenever Xavier had that play and that mesh concept to get him down to 1st and goal. I was definitely thinking about that specific trade at that point in time. That was honestly the first thing that came to mind. All right. Let's keep it rolling here. Any team that wins consistently will be accused of cheating. That's a very good point, Mike. That is a very good point. Love from Argentina, appreciate it. Like I said, that means more than you know. And if you've ever met a football player, you would know it isn't rigged. That is actually one of my favorite things. Like I would love to be. Let's just play this out here. By the way, let's just play this out. All right, I am the CRA, the chief rigging analyst of the NFL, right? Hey, Josh Allen. It's football analysis right before kickoff. Josh, I got to pull you in, buddy. Look, we're going to pay a little, like $10 million extra under the table. I know you put your body on the line. You may break your leg tonight because this game is very violent. Football is the most violent sport ever, but look, we're going to take care of you. We need the Chiefs to win. So Josh, I hope you understand. Go out and try your best, buddy, but you're not going to win. Is that what you actually think happens? The whole rig just annoys me, man. Is that honestly what the people that say that think happens? I want you to actually think about that out loud. Hey, Sean McDermott, just here's a couple, look, $2.2 million bonus. You did good this year, buddy, but we need Big Red on the stage. We need the bundle Rooski. Is that what you guys actually think, man? I'm just asking. All right, if Lamar can't win, everybody gotta suffer. Appreciate the super chat. I mean, Lamar versus Jalen Hurts would be a fun Super Bowl. All right. Chris, appreciate the super chat. What did I think of Luvu's consecutive penalties? I'll be honest, whenever that happened, I actually, that specific play where it was we're going to call a touchdown or whatever, I was actually taking my dog outside. I just assumed the Eagles were just going to tush push their way right into the end zone. So I didn't see that specific play because I was just like, all right, let's just fast forward the game. The thing is Luvu, I did live. I didn't see it live because I did go back and watch it after. But Luvu is a player that I feel like he's the definition of a guy that you do not like if you are playing against him, but he's the guy you love that's on your team. And somebody just said that he was doing his best Troy Polamalu impression. Look, the tush push is what it is. I don't think the play where he jumped over was intentionally dirty as much as he was just trying to just stop the tush push. I mean, it's an NFC Championship game. It is do or die, trying to make a play for your team. I don't think there was anything to be had out of that, personally. All right. Kenny, appreciate you being in here. Kenny, if you are still in here, comment. Let me know. All right. All right. Please read Super Chat. Did I miss one? I feel like I didn't miss one. Did I miss one? No. Oh, wait. Hurts to be an Eagles fan. There's live in NOLA and a Birds fan. Is this destiny? Sorry, Hurts to be an Eagles fan. I apologize. I don't know. Is it destiny? I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be destiny earlier in the season when my guy, Justin Jefferson, he's from Louisiana. Super Bowl's in New Orleans, and he won a national championship in New Orleans. But you live in NOLA and a Birds fan. We'll see. Good luck beating the Chiefs. I'm rooting for you individually. All right, let's keep it going here. Sorry, Hurts to be an Eagles fan. Sorry about that. All right, let's keep it rolling. A couple chats here. All right. Sleepy Gorilla, as always, appreciated. The Chiefs three-peat, where do Mahomes, Kelsey, Jones, and Andy Reid stack up all time? Mahomes undoubtedly becomes 2. Undoubtedly. Guys, real talk, a 4-time... I know people don't want to have this conversation because it's glazing Mahomes. 4-time champion by age 30 is unprecedented. It would probably, if I had to guess, probably be a 4-time Super Bowl MVP by age 30. Undoubtedly, too. I would not put him over Tom personally. There's still 3 Super Bowl. There would still be 3 Super Bowls separating Tom and Patrick at that point, and also within that, you kind of have the AFC Championship game and then the Super Bowl victory over Patrick, which Tom won both Super Bowls. Obviously, they went on to beat the Rams in Super Bowl 53, and then, of course, he beat him in Super Bowl 55. So I would say Mahomes is undoubtedly 2. Kelsey, I would say, is either... Oh, man. To me, he would be either 1 or 2. I think it would be Gronk or him. Tony G's also up there, so you'd have the triangle or the trio. Kelsey passed Tony Gonzalez for Chiefs touchdowns. Now, I know Tony obviously had a second football life in Atlanta. I would still go Kelsey above Tony Gonzalez personally, but game-by-game impact, I'm probably still going to go Gronk over Kelsey. Chris Jones would be, I don't know, man. I can't answer Chris Jones off the top of my head because if I think of, every Aaron Donald, there's going to be several guys I forget. He would be certainly up there because Chris Jones is already Hall of Famer as well. Big Red, though, being a 4-time champ would probably be top 2, would be my guess. Reflex, appreciate it. First super chat, appreciate it. I don't think the Chiefs can contain Saquon. He's 100+ each time he has 20+ carries, and clearly they're going to run it down their throats. Eagles defense just has to keep a lid over the middle of the field. I think they are going to... So over the course of the game, I agree with you. I would agree with you over the course of a game. Now, early on, I think it's going to be... Each team's going to, they're going to try to dance a little bit, see what the other team's trying to do, that type of thing. But whether it's the Chiefs or whoever, you get down late in the fourth quarter, I'm not betting against the Eagles' offensive line. But early on, I think it's going to be a pretty close game. It should be a really good Super Bowl. Really, really good Super Bowl. I'm really looking forward to it. Tony, appreciate it. Which prospects or positions are you looking forward to in the Senior Bowl? Is Barkley the difference maker this time for the Eagles in the Super Bowl? All right, so Senior Bowl, there's a lot of guys. I am really looking forward to the offensive line class. I'm a big Armand Mambu fan. He's an offensive tackle from Missouri. I love his game. I think he is one of the most underrated prospects in the class. I like Armand Mambu a lot. I also can't wait to watch Nick Scorton from Texas A&M. Can't wait to see him. But the trenches is the ones I'm really looking forward to seeing in this class. Both sides. All right, Tony, appreciate it. Tony DeGoat, not to be confused with Tony Dominguez. All right, let's see here. Off topic, but I wish the Giants were good, but now we have Philly and Washington. I miss the days with Eli and Spags. Love from Connecticut. Appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy a nice pizza up there in the New Haven area. Shout out Sally's a Pizza. The Giants are a frustrating team. Just needless to say. 9 double-digit losing seasons in the past 11. I want them to do good, though. I'm with you. Both New York teams being good would be good for the sport. I do think that. Especially the Jets. That would be awesome. All right, let's see here. Make sure I didn't miss any other super chats here. Let's keep it going. All right. Let's see here. Really just intellectual comment here. Chiefs suck. All right. All right, if the game is so obviously rigged, you can tell from the broadcast, then sue the NFL. Come on, cowards, put your money where your salty mouth is. That has always cracked me up whenever people are like, it's just undoubtedly rigged. And I've had this conversation. This is actually a hilarious encounter that I've had with people. If I am talking to somebody and they say, just a conversation, hey, what do you do for a living? Okay, I talk about football on YouTube. Very grateful to be able to say that, and everything. There's been countless times where I get, well, it's rigged, right? And I'm like, okay, you're right. It's just it's a tiring conversation. All right. The championship games were a little embarrassing. Personally disagree. I really enjoyed the AFC Championship, and the Birds took advantage, man. Jalen Hurts is the anti-what-if quarterback. Credit to him. Second quarterback in 3 years. Josh Allen can't beat Mahomes 4 times in a row. Ridiculous. I feel bad for Josh, man. I feel bad for Josh. I think if Mahomes three-peats, he will only need 6 rings to match Tom's legacy. Interesting. Eagles did it. They did, Justin. They did it. They did it, man. More than did it. If you could be a GM for any team, what team would you pick? I mean, I feel like every team, like the Vikings would be. I mean, they would be, because they're my team, I would pick the Vikings. Now, if I were, like, starting from today, the Eagles, where they are, just with the trenches, with everybody at their peak right now, it would be so easy to just add talent to an already loaded roster. So I'd probably pick the Chiefs or Eagles at this point. All right. All right, first super chat from Nitro Nick. Appreciate it. Besides Saquon, what do you think will be different in this year's from Super Bowl 57? I'm sure no Eagles fans will get upset by this. If I lost and this happened to my team, I would be extremely hot. I don't know is the Sod father going to be there? That was a huge thing regarding Super Bowl 57 when it was in Arizona a couple years ago. But, there's legit reason to think that slowed down the pass rush in that game on both sides. But no, it was, that was it. I'll just leave it at that. Besides Saquon, let's think for a minute here. The Chiefs are, I just feel like, a big difference between 2 years ago and now is Patrick Mahomes had an MVP season that year. He was nowhere close to the MVP this year. Nowhere close. And that's, Chiefs fans know that. The numbers weren't remotely close to being there. So, in terms of it being a team's year, I really am kind of under the belief that this 100% is the best chance the Eagles will have in any of the 2 years in the past, 2 years from the future. This is the Eagles' best chance because Saquon's 27. He'll be 28 on Super Bowl Sunday. I think, you don't know when he's going to start to decline as a running back. I know he's obviously an extremely fun player to watch, but that's more of a year-by-year basis with running backs. So we'll see. But this is the year for the Eagles. The secondary, the defense, I feel like is really good. I know they had James Bradbury and of course a younger Darius Slay a couple years ago, but I'm a huge Quinion guy. Somebody even commented an improved defense, which I would agree with. And then Splend actually said no slippery field, but I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. And like I said, we will be live post Super Bowl. So crush for Bills Mafia. Appreciate your content. Appreciate it, Joseph. I'm always humble whenever people say that they enjoy the content because there's a lot that goes into it. But I do appreciate it. Honestly, there's no point in continuing to watch the NFL. Who was actually surprised by any of this? I was okay. Were you surprised that the Lions lost by 14 points to the Commanders, to a rookie quarterback at home in which they were the number 1 seed? I was surprised. I was extremely surprised. All right. Is the Bills' windows closed? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, one thing that I think needs to be taken away from this year for the Bills that I know nobody wants to hear, and I wouldn't want to hear it particularly right now if I were a Bills fan, but This was the transition year. This was the rebuild year. Guys, you just went to the AFC Championship game with Mac Hollins, Amari Cooper, Curtis Samuel, which, by the way, I admittedly criticized the hell out of that Curtis Samuel signing. I was at the time thinking, how is paying Curtis Samuel $10 million a year going to solve any of your problems? They were within a field goal of going to the Super Bowl with this team. So Bills fans, I know they don't want to hear the moral victory, but it was a really solid year, man. It was a really good year. I never thought that they would be where they are now, personally. 2 weeks of hearing about how great Mahomes is. Bonjan, appreciate it. Thoughts on 4th down call? assuming this is the play with the blitz at the end. I don't know what happened protection-wise for the Bills. Right this second, I've only seen the play once, and then when they replayed it on the screen. So I haven't really broke down what the protection was. I haven't looked at anything right now. But it was just... I didn't really look at the Bills' play call. And again, Spagnuolo is a 4-time Super Bowl champion defensive coordinator. Great play call. He forced Josh to the short side of the field, which is where he wanted him to go. Josh did a Josh Allen thing. He got the ball out. Unfortunately, Dalton Kincaid didn't make the play. I hope he's okay. But I thought the play call was fine. I thought that specifically. I didn't think that was the game by any means. The Bills missed a couple of opportunities earlier. I didn't think that was like the specific play, if that makes sense. All right, out of every team that made the playoffs, who's in the worst position now? And out of the teams that didn't make it, who's in the worst position? Okay, I think the Saints are in a pretty bad position. To go to that part first, because they don't have a quarterback. They're in a bad division, and they're already not winning games in a bad division. They never have cap money because they always push it a year down the road, and they just never accept the salary cap for what it is. They frustrate me. Worst position out of teams that made the playoffs. I'm going to take a look here, just to confirm here. I just want to make sure I have all 14 teams up that made the playoffs. Steelers are up there for sure because they're kind of directionless right now. So the Steelers are up there. The Steelers would probably be my pick for that. I don't know what direction they would go at this point. So I feel like it would be the Steelers would be my answer for that. All right. Don't want to talk about my Saints. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. All right, guys. That is going to wrap up tonight's stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, I appreciate everyone being in here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Conference Championship Sunday. Eagles 55, Commanders 23, Chiefs 32, Bills 29. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. And let's see here. You inspired me to make football, soccer, MMA. Boys, appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed. All right, let's see here. Did you know that 75% of archaeologists work in the private sector? I did not, Daniel. I'm going to be honest. I did not. I don't like the Eagles, but go Birds. Pats fan here. This is the same playbook as Brady. All state have dumped... Wait. Oh, all state have dumped millions into KC for bad advertising. I got you. CMD says, admit it's rigged, coward. Oh, there we go. Everyone liked the stream. Good call. Appreciate it. Good call. Appreciate it. All right, but that will wrap it up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. And as always, until next time, please be safe and have a great day. Love you guys.